Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday, the 2nd of August. So let's start off looking at the what news events we've got coming out today and maybe this week actually, just so it gives you a bit of a bigger picture as we look forward. So we're sitting there today with we've got at 8:55 German final manufacturing PMI. This generally isn't a big mover because we've already had the flash data out there, so it doesn't necessarily cause a lot of movement. We've got the ISM manufacturing PMI in the US later at 3 p.m. as well. The earlier figures of these generally create the biggest moves. So quite one today. Bank holiday in Canada and Australia. We I was hoping we had one somewhere else as well. Anyway, moving on. So then on Tuesday, really, the Reserve Bank of Australia, we've got this is the biggie there, and then on Thursday we've got the Bank of England. So and of course non-farm payrolls. So there are a few coming up this week in terms of major news events, but stay relatively quiet, I'd say. So let's look at the technicals. Going to start off with currencies, and I'll then put a pitch on to looking beyond that. Right, so the euro dollar daily wise, well, we've been running up quite well before the news, into the news, post news, and then it's pulled back a little bit here. Now, question I guess is it has it got the legs to push on, continue pushing up? As I spoke to our day traders on Friday, I do question whether it's got the legs in terms of fundamental perspective. With the euro no nearer increased interest rates than the US, and it's sort of that sort of look for hawkishness at some point or other of one of these central banks. Well, we'll see. But at the moment, the sort of I do wonder if we'll get a bit more of a correction to the downside. We do have the new weekly pivot sitting below us here. I can't see the monthly pivot at the moment. It's probably somewhere just above actually. It's just not coming up on. Let me just reduce this time frame on this and it'll show me it a bit clearer for a second. He says hopefully. No, it's not. Okay. Can't see anything there. But it does look like it's actually more likely to be below than above. Anyway, not quite there, but certainly I can see the daily pivot. It's just below us. It might just come down to correct this weekly pivot below us may just come down to correct that. If looking elsewhere, I'm just sort of looking at the 60-minute time frame. We sort of had this sort of slow crawl up through the Asian session. It could, as I say, just fly around. There's the monthly pivots underneath here. So there's the monthly, the weekly. And the daily should be some. We've gone into the daily. There we are. So we'll see how we move from here. But at the moment, it looks a little bit. For me, I'm erring on the bearish side. Pound. So the pound, well, it's got this sort of almost an outside bar, bearish engulfing bar on the dailies on the pound, catching a bit more of a bit at the moment. Fundamentally, it's in a better place than the euro dollar, the pound dollar is. With the Bank of England more likely to make changes quicker, even if they are trying to drag their heels a little. But we'll see. We'll get some more information out on Thursday. But for now, weekly pivot just short, just a pip below us or two. I say a pip, a few pips below us, but could be a draw. And there you go, the monthly pivot a bit further. Now these often get caught quite early in the month, so I do like watching them. I will often target them if I'm trading. If I catch a normal day trade, I won't just sell at this point. I'll wait until there's some confirmation or a signal to try sell on. I would sell on it and look to see if it moves back. But one word of caution, the pound has been working a bit stronger for a bit longer, so it's been pushing up here for quite a while. Dolly Yen, a bit of a mixed bag here. A bit of a mixed bag, full stop. Lower highs, you can just about see it clearer here. Lower highs coming through and lower lows running through. This is going almost the opposite way here. It's consolidating where it is here. Weekly pivot just above it might just jump a ball, push up there. So if we see the yen pushing up, it could be on any reason why it's pushing up, but it could push up there a bit further. When you look at it, it's quite in a tight old range on the 60-minute here. Personally, I've not been trading it. I nearly traded it on Friday. I was all but in a trade there, or actually about there you go, about 9 o'clock, and I left it. It was just breaking a trend line. There was a little trend line I drew across there. There's that bearish engulfing bar, and I thought, oh, this looks like this might be rolling over. And I thought, do you know, it's just too risky, and I moved away from it. Good job too, eh? Sometimes it's the ones that you miss are as good as the ones that you get. Okay, Aussie dollar showing a bit of a bounce at the moment. Overall, it's a mess. When you start coming down, drilling through the price action, it's quite a mess. It has got some possible resistance points up here. Reserve Bank of Australia's data coming out to, Tuesday. I expect that it will continue being quite dovish. We've had further lockdowns in Australia, so I'm sure they'll see there'll be a good reason not to be talking about any changes for now. But technically, if it gets into these areas up here, perhaps it will give us an opportunity. Canadian dollar's broken its main trend on the dailies here, and well, it is looking to me that maybe it will continue this route. It is just that little bit stronger at the moment, and maybe, as I say, it will continue. It's well almost back into its daily pivot there. That said, it's got a weekly and monthly pivot above, so I would need to see it below the daily pivot, or if it really wants to get short in the moment. The reason being, we've got the 50 and the 34 all bunched up there at that pivot level. It may just find a bit of support. Has got this sort of wedge pattern here as well on the 60-minute, but it's right near the bottom, so if it was a wedge near the top, I'd be thinking, well, yeah, if it breaks the top of that, I'm going for it. But well, it could be a break going for it because of the pivots that are sitting above it, but I'll sit aside of that on the upside for now. That's pretty much it there. Okay, I did look at the Euro Yen, just had a quick scan through a couple of these other pairings. I know people like trading the other pairs. Have a look at this one. John, I'll come on to your pound New Zealand in a moment. So Euro Yen really still predominantly to the downside here. It's trying to do something a little bit more, but when you look at it on 4 hourly, it's a right mess. That said, it's picking up, and maybe unwinding of yen longs. It could be helping it more than anything else. The monthly pivot just a little bit further above. Maybe that'll stall things. Okay, just having a quick look. We're just going into 8 o'clock here. We've just got a bit of a run on the euro. Actually, it's just run through quite the key moving averages there. Maybe my analysis there, I was looking to see if a breakdown, but maybe it'll go the other way. It's quite a bullish candle at the moment. But it's amazing how things change so quickly when you're looking through these markets. So the pound New Zealand, Let's have a look at that. Well, predominantly daily wise, high lows, high highs come straight to mind in terms of the picture there. Then you start drilling down on this one. It's quite a mess for day trading. It's sat all in there through Thursday, Friday. Well, at least Friday, chopping along. Horrible sort of price action. Ooh, erring to continue to the upside, if anything. For me, I'm sure people will be looking at shorts on this because it's been pushing up. Yeah, it just looks like it's a bit got more upside potential, if anything. There, you are looking at, fundamentally one of the more stronger currencies, the pound, versus one of the weaker currencies, New Zealand. It's not particularly favoured at the moment, even though the economies and the Bank of New Zealand's Reserve Bank of New Zealand is likely to start tapering, etc., a lot quicker. Right, okay, that's pretty much there. Let's have a quick look. Let's just stay with these charts. Look at gold. So gold selling off on Friday, continuing through a little bit at the moment. I'm just haven't touched gold for a long time. Lower highs, 2 lower highs now. It's confirmed that through on the 4 hourlies leading into this week, and just looking a bit soft on the shorter time frame. A bit softer, lower highs, lower lows. So maybe we should get a bit more continuation. Has got the monthly pivot sitting below there. So that may become a bit of a target for it, but in the intermediate time, as I said, really for me, it's a difficult one, quite choppy. Traditionally, quite a quiet month or a few months for gold, and you may just end up sitting in chop. Right, this gold, oil. So oil was looking at Friday, expecting more upside, where it did pitch up a bit further, but it's getting so slow now. It's consolidating for long periods at a time. I must admit I didn't catch a trade out of it on Friday. What time did it actually go in the end? It was pushing out to a bit too early at 9 o'clock. It did push out at broke the prior highs there at 2 o'clock when I prefer to be trading it, but I mean, it's not a great target, and it has sold off since. At the moment, it almost looks like we're this lower high that's chipped in during the Asian session through Sunday session and into the Asia through the Asian session. At the moment, looks a little bit soft, but it is just finding some support there into the which one's that then? The weekly pivot. There we are. Right, commodities done. Let's have a look at the equity markets. I'm going to look at the S&Ps on here. The rest I'll do. I had a question on the DAX. I'll answer that a bit more thoroughly. But S&Ps, well, it's not too well, it is dissimilar to DAX at the moment. It's actually doing quite well, and it's having quite a pop up at the moment. As I'm just looking at the moment, it's popping up there and pushing further. At this stage, it's just chopping, but pushing to the upside, looking like it's got more upside potential, and it's the only way I can see it. I mean, it's the opportunities. As I said last week, and I keep on saying, if you get any decent retracements, it's well worth looking for buying at this stage. That's the S&Ps. Now, a question came through on the DAX. Someone's finding it particularly hard to trade, and I just took a look at the and they're day trading, I'm assuming. And I just took a look at the dailies, and well, it's no real surprise because it's just sitting here in absolute chop. And yeah, we get 2 or 3 days in a row there, 3 days in that particular case, and 4 days up, but then it's come back into chop. It is a really choppy daily market. So when you're looking at it like that, it makes for a more difficult market to trade, because it's I mean, a trending market's about the easiest. You come down on the 4 hours, and yes, it's maybe got some better price action, but even just pulling it back, as they said, they sort of had trouble over the month. There's no surprises. It's really struggling. It's tight near the highs there. When it sits near the highs, it's pushing back up to it had been pushed back to the highs here, tightening up, and it's getting quite a mess again now. Trying to push up this morning, so I guess some people, and you trade what you like trading, and if the DAX is what you want to trade, I would have some. That's why I like currencies. You got sort of probably with the cross pairs, and you probably got about a dozen pairs that you could do something with swing trading and day trading, with the major crosses, and it's worth looking aside of just one market. If that's where you're losing your money, don't continue. Look at something that's trading a bit better for you. At the moment, though, the DAX, well, I'm just sort of looking at the price action here and thinking, well, there's more upside potential. Right, that was DAX. Let's just have a look at the markets in Asia. Well, it sounds like it looks like China's settled things, with today being a much more bullish day there. It was not looking particularly good. FTSE already up. Truth is that already up quite a chunk there on the futures, and these are delayed futures, I believe. Actually, it's not a delayed future on that one. That is a live chart, so that's pushing up pretty decently. Looks at the S&Ps, DAX. That's DAX. Just have a quick look at what's going on there. Okay, that pulled back, pushing up at the moment pretty well. I think it's wasn't there a bit of disappointment over an offering, an IPO. That was on Friday, so that didn't come out so well, so it's probably affected that. And the Dow Jones, well, the Dow Jones is looking like it wants to go and make new highs. So there we are. That's the equity markets. And finally, crypto. This is what we got. What's happened over the weekend? Then, well, it's sold. These markets were looking pretty good. I mean, look at the upward movement we've had with the Bitcoin, it's been moving really well. A couple of days off, but it's buying. There's buying coming back into the market at the moment, and well, Ethereum didn't sell off. It just carried its route. It's changing things around a little bit now. It's just shrink this up a little bit so we can see a little bit more. Ethereum now has the next target around about that sort of 2872 area. Ripple also pushing up better. Sold over the weekend, it sold off, but again looks like it's got potential to the upside. Okay, that's pretty much it for me for today. I wish you a great day trading, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.